Hello, this is Bob Young. I will be your narrator for this episode. This episode is entitled Adam Chats with God. It is the 8th in a series of videos that discuss a parable called Adam's God Phone. The parable of Adam's God Phone is primarily based on the revelations by Jesus to Mystic Luisa Piccarreta about the gift of living in the kingdom of the divine will. Other sources are used as well. As you can see, my email and website are shown below. My website is calltobefree.com. Now recall from the last episode that Adam gets a message on his God phone. The message reads as follows. The Good Evil app is installed. Your God phone software is now updated to version 666 per your request. If you have any questions about your contract with Lucifer, contact our legal department at www.satanhq.hell. Also recall the conversation between Adam and Eve. They're confused. Adam to Eve, what do we do now? Eve, perhaps we can find a help icon. Adam, there is no help icon to press. Let's power it down and try to reload the software. Eve, good idea, Adam. Adam restarts his God phone. Adam restarts his God phone, hoping to solve his problem after the software download. Suddenly, Adam's God phone starts to blink. It is God asking Adam if he wants to chat. Adam and God chat. God to Adam. Adam, let's chat. Adam, now? God, yes, now. You seem hesitant. Did you press the good evil icon? Adam responds. Eve pressed it. Then she needed the password. God, so you entered the password. Adam, yes, that caused a new app to download. God, and then? Adam, we got a strange message. God, did you approve the contract terms? Adam, apparently, I did hit the confirm button. God, Adam, did you read the contract? Adam, not actually. Does anyone read the contract? God, no, it was written by Lucifer's team. They don't expect anyone to read it. However, it is binding. Adam, what is my obligation? God, you signed away your inheritance. You committed to leave the kingdom of the divine will and live in the kingdom of the human will. Furthermore, since you are the head of the human family, by default, you have also forfeited what your descendants, that is your progeny, were to inherit. Adam, how could I have made such a serious mistake? God, you were scammed. You were deceived. It is a standard technique used by the enemy. Who's the enemy? Your enemy is Lucifer and his followers. His name was Lucifer, but now he goes by the name of Satan or the devil. He has an entire team working for him. His spiritual followers are called demons. They were angels until they disobeyed, but that's another story. Adam, but what is the mission of Satan? God, they are my subcontractors. They work indirectly for me now. When you disobeyed my command and downloaded the Good Evil app, you signed up contractually to be prey to their team in their kingdom, the kingdom of the human will. It is a game of sorts with serious eternal consequences. Adam, how does this game work? God, you will live in the kingdom of the human will. Satan has dominion over that kingdom. His objective is to influence your God-given will so that you decide to stay in his kingdom forever, for eternity. My objective is to influence you to decide to return home to the kingdom of the divine will. Adam, what does this choice entail? God, the key element of your choice is whether you want to suffer pain now, which I call sacrificial love, or whether you want to avoid pain now and eventually suffer excruciating pain for eternity. Adam, the choice seems obvious, right? God, the choice is considered a spiritual battle. For you to win the battle, you will need to attempt to follow my desires to the best of your ability. For Satan to win the battle, he will attempt to convince you to follow his desire, which is to lead you to remain in his eternal kingdom, which he calls hell. It all comes down to how you decide to deal with pain and suffering. Adam, what are the rules of this game? God, I give you 2 coins to spend, time and free will. The way you spend these coins will determine the result. Now that you have decided to move to Satan's kingdom, you have also signed up to accept some handicaps. Adam, handicaps? God, yes. Your intellect will be clouded. You will no longer have infused knowledge. The acquisition of knowledge will be painful and difficult. Also, your memory will be impaired and subject to corruption. You will find it very difficult to remember the knowledge and wisdom you acquire. Furthermore, your God-given will, although still functional, will be significantly weakened. That state is referred to as original sin. Sin is the word I use to define an act which is contrary to my will. Adam, so my coin to combat Satan's desire is my free will? God, yes, but be aware that there are 2 dimensions of time for you. The dimension of life, with small letter L, and the dimension of life, capital L. Adam, what's the difference? God, the dimension of life, small letter L, refers to your human time on earth before you die. The dimension of life, capital L, refers to the time you spend in the kingdom of the divine will. Your objective, and my desire, is that you accomplish the required acts to return home to the kingdom of the divine will before the time of your human death. Currently, you are what I call a prodigal son, who is a servant of Satan and potentially a regular participant in acts of sin. Adam, what are the rules leading to the required acts to live in the kingdom of the divine will? God, there are 2 sets. The first set I call the 10 Commandments. The second set I call the Beatitudes, along with the Golden Rule. The weapons you have to support you in your spiritual battle are these rules. I will infuse them into your memory. Later, in human time, my team will have them placed into an external form in a book called the Bible. Adam, with those weapons, I expect I can easily win the spiritual battle, right? God, Satan is extremely intelligent. In fact, his intelligence far surpasses yours, but he must follow the rules I have given him. In the Bible, The book of Job gives some insight into the rules I have given him. Essentially, he is limited by my rules, and, like a mean dog that is chained, he cannot bite you unless you stray too close. However, I have allowed him to execute certain tactics which make your access to my kingdom extremely challenging, but therefore meritorious. Adam, what are those tactics? God, his most common tactic is called temptation. He will use your basic human instincts to want money, physical gratification, and human power. And with your God-given attributes weakened by original sin, you and your progeny will lapse into sinful actions and be diverted from the road home. Adam, but I'll use my weapons. God, Satan's other major tactic is to distract you so that you will not remember to use your knowledge to perform acts to win the spiritual war. Adam, what can I do to remember? God, it is called prayer. Prayer is a conversation with me. You must develop a spiritual exercise routine whereby you regularly focus on having a conversation with me. And one of your biggest challenges is that, unlike now, your ability to hear me has been dramatically weakened. In fact, you will have difficulty perceiving me at all. But you and your progeny should know that I can hear and see you constantly. One of the helpful life-saving devices that will be provided later to your descendants is a formal daily ritual during which the following words will be repeated. Do this in remembrance of me. Adam, do what in remembrance? God, the ritual has to do with an act on my part that will help your descendants successfully overcome major problems that flow from your contract with Satan. The future formal daily ritual will reenact and make present in time a divine act which I call redemption. Adam, but using the prayer as you describe, how can I be certain that you hear me? God, the word to describe your confidence that I hear you is called faith. If you trust me, you will know for certain that I hear everything you tell me, whether you use external words or communicate telepathically. Adam, telepathically? God, yes, that is how we are communicating now. I can read your thoughts and you can read my thoughts. Your new way of communicating in the kingdom of the human will is to use a combination of spiritual and material constructs. This method requires a human to develop a thought, convert it to an internal act, use your voice as an act to project that thought into material sound waves, depend on the material sound waves to travel to the other human via air at about 1,100 feet per second, depend on the other human to be open to receive the sound waves in their ears and act to translate those sound waves to a human thought in their mind, and then activate their intellect to comprehend the thought. Then, for the other person to respond, they initiate the same process. Adam, you've got to be kidding. God, no, that's the reality. And I've given you a very simplified description of the process. There are many more detailed actions which must occur during this process for your thoughts to be transmitted to another human. The communication process you will use in the kingdom of the human will is part of the pain and suffering you will endure during the new life you have chosen. Adam, what else should I know? God, Understand that one major tactic that Satan will use is that competition is good and natural. However, since you have been living in the kingdom of the divine will, you understand that there is no competition in my kingdom. Now you'll be living in a kingdom controlled by Satan, where the unspoken belief, the doctrine of the enemy, is that there is not enough goods to go round. Thus, everything becomes a competition. Competition for money, competition for food and shelter, competition for human glory, competition for comfort, and competition for power and control. All competition is to fulfill the desire of the human with original sin to become God of his own world. He wants to have dominion over everything that surrounds him. Adam, wow, how do I and my progeny combat this? God, simple, you must become perfect. By this, I mean that you must annihilate your God-given human will by giving it to me as a gift. You must defer to me 100% of the time for all your decisions. You must rid yourself of all your attachments except one, that is, to do my will. When that happens, I give you my will in return, and you can possess my will. We effectively become spiritually married and become one, and we are in the state of unity. You will never become God because that's not possible, but you can become part of me and thus have the benefits without the responsibility. Adam, I know that you, God, are omniscient and exist outside of time. You obviously designed a test for me with the God phone and the good evil icon and associated app. Would it be fair to assume that you knew how the story was going to play out? Did you know that I would disobey? God, since I am outside of earthly time, I can see the entire story, including this moment. Nonetheless, you have free will, and I cannot override that. Giving you the head of the human family, the gift of free will, was a risk I took. But I took that risk knowing that I can always turn an evil act into something good. So someday, in the formal ritual of remembrance that I mentioned, a hymn called the Exultet will be sung, which refers to your original sin as a happy fault. Had you not disobeyed, I would not have the opportunity to repair your contract with Satan. That repair action will allow me to exercise an attribute called mercy, which would not exist if there were no sinful act to forgive. In fact, I will disclose to you that since Satan set up his scam by using a woman, my divine justice will be served by using a woman to deliver mercy to crush his head and neutralize the contract. The woman will be clothed with the sun. She will be the mother of mercy. Adam, so, God, can I assume that you still love me and that me and my progeny will make it home? God, yes, I love you, and I love each and every one of your descendants. I can see every one of their faces now. I have counted the hairs on their heads. But all of you have free will. Some humans may decide to join Satan's team. However, my team will definitely win the spiritual battle. It is, after all, my game. Adam, any final words as I leave your kingdom and enter the worldly fray? God, Adam, you are my son. Eve is my daughter. Your children are my children. Make sure they always remember that. Go in my peace. I bless you. Adam. Amen. These episodes will be continued. Remember, we are being called to be apostles of love, apostles of the end time.